and I could do a whole another hour presentation just on how to raise indistractable kids, but I'll give you a few quick tips. The best thing you can do if you want to raise indistractable kids is to be an indistractable parent. We cannot tell our kids, oh, stop, get off Fortnite and stop doing this and that, when meanwhile we're checking email or whatever on our phones, right? So the best thing you can do is to set a good example for your kids. You can't raise indistractable kids unless you're an indistractable parent. And tell your kids you're struggling, right? That's totally fine, right? These tools are made to be engaging. It's no wonder we struggle to put them away. That's totally fine. Let them know that you're struggling with it as well. And then we can simply work around the very same 4 steps. So understanding what those internal triggers are. There's a much more in-depth conversation around kids and the internal triggers. The internal triggers that kids face are different from what adults face, right? So that's a whole, I encourage you to check out that section in my book around the internal triggers that kids are suffering from. There's what's called the needs displacement hypothesis, that when kids or adults aren't getting what they need offline in the real world, they look for those psychological vitamins, if you will, those psychological nutrients online. So if you're not feeling competency, autonomy, and relatedness, these 3 psychological nutrients in the real world, you're looking for them online. So that's a big part of why kids overuse technology, is that school today is for many kids, in many cases, a prison. And so they're looking for competency, autonomy, and relatedness online. But that's another subject. Number 1, internal triggers. Help your kids have these tactics to deal with these internal triggers in a healthy way. The next way is to schedule, the same way we would for ourselves, turning your values into time. Now, for kids, if they're in school, most of their day is already scheduled. But after school, one of the best things you can do for your kid is to schedule time for the things that you think are distractions, right? So scheduling time for video games, put it on their schedule. How much time do you think is for you? How much time, given all the other stuff you need to do, homework, chores, playing with friends, how much time works for you? This is a conversation I had with my daughter when she was just 6 years old. And now she has that time in her schedule. She doesn't have to think about, oh, when do I get time to go on YouTube? When do I get time to do these things? It's in her schedule. She knows exactly. She doesn't have to think about it all day. Hacking back the external triggers. One of the best things you can do for your kids is removing any external trigger that interrupts sleep in the bedroom. So kids should not have anything that beeps, buzzes, or boops in the bedroom. Very, very important quick tip. There's a lot of other things you can do as well. And then finally, preventing distraction with pacts. So I showed that app Forest that helps you, you set the time that you want to do focused work for, and then there's that cute little virtual tree. My daughter loves it. Every time she has to do homework, she uses that tool. I use it as well. And that's a wonderful way to make a pact to make sure that you stay on track. So it's really around teaching your kids these same four strategies to becoming indistractable themselves.